What if the key to solving a decades-old mystery wasn't hidden in a dusty evidence box, but in the hands of ordinary people like you, scrolling through forums, digging through clues, and refusing to let the truth stay buried? Welcome back to Weird Wild Stories, where we dive into the strangest, darkest corners of true crime, mysteries, and the paranormal. Today, we're unraveling two chilling cold cases that were cracked, not by detectives, but by online sleuths. From a gruesome discovery in a forest to a killer caught by a Netflix documentary, these stories will leave you questioning, could you be the one to solve the next big case? Stick around, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it. The autumn leaves crunched under the hunter's boots as he trekked through New Hampshire's Bear Brook State Park in 1985. The air was crisp, the forest quiet, until a foul odor stopped him cold. There, half hidden among the trees, sat a 55-gallon barrel, its lid cracked open like a grim invitation. He peered inside and recoiled. Wrapped in plastic were the remains of a woman and a young girl, their faces lost to time, their identities a void. The police swarmed the scene, but the trail was ice cold. No names, no leads, no suspects. The Bear Brook murders, as they'd come to be known, seemed destined to haunt the forest forever. 15 years later, in 2000, the past clawed its way back. Another barrel surfaced nearby, this one holding the remains of two more girls. 4 victims, 1 killer, and a silence that stretched across decades. The case gnawed at investigators, a puzzle with no edges. They cast a wide net, publicizing the case across the United States and parts of Canada, chasing hundreds of leads. At least 10 possible identities were ruled out, but the bodies remained nameless, their stories locked away. In June 2013, a flicker of hope emerged. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, NCMEC, unveiled new facial reconstructions of the victims, weaving in dental details to hint at how their teeth shaped their faces. Rendered in stark black and white, skin tones and eye colors were unknowable. The images were a plea to the public. Who were they? 2 years later, in November 2015, NCMEC released a third set of reconstructions at a press conference in the New Hampshire State Attorney General's office. Each face a silent cry for recognition. Science began to unravel the mystery. In 2014, DNA profiling revealed a maternal link through mitochondrial DNA. The woman and the oldest and youngest girls were related, possibly a mother, aunt, or older sister. By 2015, the truth sharpened. The woman was the mother of the 2 girls. But who was she? And who was the 4th victim? The case took a turn in January 2017 when investigators connected the dots to Denise Bowden, a woman who vanished from Manchester, New Hampshire in 1981. She'd been last seen at a Thanksgiving gathering in Goffstown with her young daughter and her boyfriend, Robert Bob Evans. The trio disappeared without a trace. Years later, in 1986, Evans abandoned a girl named Lisa at a California campground while living under an alias. He served time for it, but the story didn't end there. In 2003, Evans, under yet another alias, was arrested for the murder and dismemberment of his wife, Yoon Soon Jun, a chemist in California. A DNA test revealed Lisa wasn't his daughter. It wasn't until 2016, with the help of Detective Peter Headley from the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Office and genetic genealogist Barbara Ray Venter, that Lisa's true identity came to light. She was Denise Bowden's daughter. Bowden herself was now presumed dead, likely at Evans' hands, given his pattern of violence. The proximity of Manchester to Allenstown, where the barrels were found, raised suspicions. DNA testing confirmed Evans was the father of the middle child in the barrels, who wasn't related to the other 3 victims. But Robert Evans was a ghost, a pseudonym for a man whose true name remained unknown. Evans died in prison in December 2010, convicted under the alias Curtis Kimball for Junn's murder. Authorities were certain he was the Bear Brook killer, but his real identity was still a shadow. In June 2017, police released a video of an old interview with Evans, hoping someone would recognize him. Meanwhile, Barbara Ray Venter worked tirelessly using genetic genealogy to close in on his name. 2 months later, a breakthrough: Y-DNA from one of Evans's children, from what was likely his first marriage, confirmed he was Terry Peder Rasmussen, born in 1943 in Denver, Colorado. Rasmussen had married in 1968, fathered 4 children between 1969 and 1972, and lived in Phoenix, Arizona, and Redwood City, California. His wife left him around 1973 or 1974, and his family last saw him at Christmas 1974. Known as the Chameleon Killer, Rasmussen wove a web of aliases, leaving a trail of at least 5 murders and likely more across the country. The victims' identities began to surface through the persistence of a librarian and web sleuth named Rebecca Heath. In 1999, Sarah's younger half-brother, who had never met her, posted on Ancestry.com, searching for his sister, born in Hawaiian Gardens, California, when her father was in the Marines. In October 2018, Heath stumbled across the post. Digging deeper, she learned Sarah's mother, Marlise Honeychurch, had an older daughter from her first marriage, and their ages aligned with the Bear Brook victims. A relative confirmed Marlise had married a man named Rasmussen. Heath's heart raced. She was almost certain she'd found them. She shared her discovery with Detective Headley. On June 6, 2019, New Hampshire investigators held a press conference revealing the identities of 3 victims: Marlise Elizabeth Honeychurch, born in 1954, and her daughters, Marie Elizabeth Vaughn, born in 1971, and Sarah Lynn McWaters, born in 1977. They'd vanished from La Puente, California around Thanksgiving 1978, after Marlise, then dating Rasmussen, argued with her mother and stormed out, never to contact her family again. Marlise may have used the alias Elizabeth Evans in legal documents in May 1980. Investigators believe all 4 victims were killed before 1981, when Rasmussen left New Hampshire. Marlise's life was tangled with loss. She married Marie's father in 1971, divorcing by 1974. She wed Sarah's father in 1974, separating soon after. Both children were in their father's custody at times, but Marlise regained guardianship. By October 1978, Sarah's father had moved on, and Sarah was likely with her mother when they met Rasmussen. The 4th victim, a young girl, remains unidentified, though DNA confirms she was Rasmussen's daughter. Her mother's identity is unknown, and whether she's alive remains a question. In February 2020, NCMEC and New Hampshire State Police released a new rendering of the girl. In 2021, investigators traced her maternal lineage to relatives in Pearl River County, Mississippi, and in 2022, they linked her to Thomas Deadhorse Mitchell, born in 1836, likely her 5th or 6th great-grandfather. Rasmussen's daughter from his first marriage, Andrea Steers, believes she met the girl, whom she recalls as half Asian when she was very young. Thanks to Barbara Ray Venter and online DNA databases, a case that baffled police for over 3 decades cracked open. Yet the story leaves a chill in the air. How many other killers like Rasmussen slip through the cracks, hiding behind aliases, waiting for a sleuth to unmask them? In the neon-lit streets of Toronto, Eric Clinton Kirk Newman was born on July 24, 1982, in Scarborough, Ontario, a boy with dreams that burned brighter than the city's skyline. By 2006, he had shed his birth name for Luka Magnotta, a persona crafted for fame. A student at I.E. Weldon Secondary School in Lindsay, Luka's early life was unremarkable, but beneath his quiet exterior simmered an ambition that would lead him down a dark path. Luka's first taste of the spotlight came in 2003 when he stepped into the world of gay. His chiseled features and calculated charm making him a fleeting star. He stripped, escorted, and posed as Jimmy for a 2005 pinup in Fab magazine. He chased reality TV glory on Out TV's Cover Guy in 2007 and auditioned for Plastic Makes Perfect in 2008, his face reshaped by cosmetic surgeries. But fame was a fickle mistress, and Luka's dreams began to fray. In 2005, his ambition took a criminal turn. Posing as a woman, he applied for credit cards, splurging over $10,000 at Sears Canada, The Brick, and 2001 audio-video. Convicted of impersonation and fraud, he pleaded guilty, earning a 9-month conditional sentence and a year of probation. By March 2007, $17,000 in debt forced him into bankruptcy, discharged by December. Rumors swirled that he was tied to Karla Homolka, Canada's notorious killer. Luka denied it in a Toronto Sun interview, but the stain lingered. Montreal police briefly claimed they had dated during a later investigation, only to retract it, admitting they had no proof. Luka was a master of the digital realm, weaving a web of 70 Facebook pages and 20 websites under aliases, dismissing many as hoaxes by cyberstalkers. But his online presence wasn't just defensive, it was a stage for something sinister. In 2010, animal rights groups targeted him after YouTube videos showed a man killing kittens, one suffocating two with a vacuum cleaner, another feeding a kitten to a Burmese python. A Facebook group led by Sia Barbie named Luka as the culprit, offering $5,000 for his capture. Toronto police, tipped off by the Ontario SPCA, coordinated with the FBI and RSPCA. In 2011, The Sun's Alex West met Luka in London after the python and videos surfaced. Days later, a threatening email arrived, likely from Luka. In 2012, Luka's story took a horrifying turn. Lin Jun, a 33-year-old student from Wuhan, China, was building a new life in Montreal. Studying at Concordia University since July 2011, he worked at a convenience store in Pointe-Saint-Charles. On May 1, 2012, he moved into a Griffintown apartment. On May 24th, his friends received a text from his phone at 9 p.m. When he missed work the next day, his boss grew uneasy. On May 27th, friends entered his apartment. By May 29th, Lin was reported missing. On May 25th, a video titled "One Lunatic, One Ice Pick" appeared on bestgore.com. For 11 minutes, it showed a naked man tied to a bed, stabbed with an ice pick and knife, then dismembered. Followed, and a dog chewed on the remains. New Order's True Faith played as a Casablanca poster loomed on the wall. A longer version later confirmed cannibalism. Promotional posts had appeared online 10 days earlier, a grim foreshadowing. A Montana attorney tried to alert authorities on May 26th, but Toronto police, his sheriff, and the FBI dismissed him. Bestgore viewers' reports went ignored. On May 29th, a blood-stained package with a left foot arrived at the Conservative Party's Ottawa headquarters, marked with a red heart. A left hand was intercepted at Canada Post, addressed to the Liberal Party. That day, a janitor in Montreal's Snowdon area found a torso in a suitcase among garbage, unnoticed since May 25th. Police found bloody clothes, papers naming Luka, and weapons. Surveillance footage tied him to the crime. At 11 p.m. on May 29th, police searched Luka's apartment, rented since January. Blood stained the mattress, refrigerator, table, and bathtub. A message in red ink read, "If you don't like the reflection, don't look in the mirror. I don't care." By May 30th, the remains were confirmed as Lin Jun's, and Luka was the suspect. A note warned of 6 mailed body parts and more murders. On June 5th, a right foot and hand arrived at Vancouver schools. On June 13, DNA linked the limbs and torso to Lin. On July 1st, his head was found in Angry-Nom Park. His body was cremated on July 11th, his ashes buried on July 26. Luka fled to Paris on May 26th under a false passport, Kirk Trammell. His phone led police to a Bagnolet hotel, but he was gone, leaving magazines and an air sickness bag. He stayed with contacts from a 2010 visit, then boarded a bus to Berlin. On June 4th, Berlin police arrested him at an internet cafe as he read about himself. He gave fake names but was identified by fingerprints. On June 5th, he agreed to extradition. On June 18th, he was flown to Canada and placed in solitary confinement. Charged with first-degree murder, indignity to a body, publishing and mailing obscene material, and harassing Prime Minister Harper and MPs, Luka became Interpol's most wanted. China reeled, some suspecting racial motives. John Baird offered condolences. Harper praised the police, while Bob Ray urged mourning for Lynn. Lynn's family arrived on June 6th, and Concordia created a fund and award in his name. A vigil illuminated Montreal. Luka was named Canadian Newsmaker of the Year, sparking outrage. Best Gore's owner faced charges in 2013 for posting the video. Luka pleaded not guilty on June 19, 2012, requesting a jury trial. A 2013 preliminary hearing under a publication ban saw Lynn's father and experts testify. Luka and Lynn's father collapsed during video evidence. Luka was indicted on April 12th, with a trial set for 2014. Luka remained a suspect in animal cruelty videos and was briefly linked to a Los Angeles murder, though cleared. Animal rights groups offered rewards, and his case echoed Mark Twitchell's, a killer who used social media to broadcast his crimes. Luka, too, craved an audience. His descent, a chilling tale of ambition turned to horror. These stories prove that the internet isn't just a place for memes. It's a battleground where everyday people can solve the unsolvable. From DNA breakthroughs to Netflix-fueled manhunts, online sleuths are rewriting the rules of justice. Which case chilled you the most? Are you part of any sleuthing communities? Drop it in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more weird, wild stories. Until next time, keep digging for the truth.